Welcome to the physician training session on the process of completing a patient discharge using the electronic health record. The discharge process is started on admission. Physicians are required to enter an expected date of discharge order within 24 hours of admission. All required documentation for discharge can be completed through the discharge summary section, which opens to the discharge readiness screen. The three areas on the left are the physician's responsibility to complete: diagnosis, discharge orders, and med reconciliation. Prior to starting the discharge process, review the reconciliation status. A green check mark indicates tasks have been completed. Med history is the documented medication history completed by nursing on admission. Admission refers to admission medication reconciliation, and discharge refers to discharge medication reconciliation. These are physician responsibility to complete. To begin the discharge process, click on the word Diagnosis Phys. This opens the Diagnosis and Problem screen to allow you to enter a discharge diagnosis. Click Add. The diagnosis search box opens. Type in the first few letters of the diagnosis you're searching for, then click on the binoculars. Search using the terms starts with and terminology, then select the diagnosis term you wish to use. Click OK. Complete the yellow required fields. Under Type, select Discharge. In Confirmation, select appropriate category such as Confirmed. Select OK and New if you wish to add another diagnosis, or just OK if you have finished. Using the back arrow allows you to access the previous discharge summary screen. Select Discharge Order. Click Add. You can obtain a single discharge order by typing discharge into the search field, although best practice is to enter discharge orders using a discharge power plan. To obtain a discharge power plan, click on the house icon. Select the Admission Transfer Discharge folder. Select appropriate power plan. Discharge power plans have a number of order sentences, making it the easiest way to enter follow-up orders and instructions. The first order sentence is for patient disposition. The order sentence is defaulted to home. Clicking on the ellipsis allows you to select an alternative disposition. Right-clicking on the order and selecting Modify allows you to modify the order details. Location is a drop-down selection area for you to choose the location your patient is going to be discharged to, whether it be another acute care facility within the province, an acute care facility outside of the province, or a community care facility. The other order sentences can be modified as well, such as follow-up appointment. Right-click and modify. Change details as required. Clicking the delta arrow will allow you to return to the order sentences. Your order sentence can be modified. Right-click and modify. From the drop-down, select the location of the patient referral. Click Orders for Signature, sign, and then refresh. Click the back arrow to return to the discharge summary page. To complete MedRec for discharge, click on the plus icon. The only time it is not completed is for hospital-to-hospital transfers. Nursing will print the MAR for these instances. Discharge MedRec will allow providers to reconcile home medications with hospital orders on discharge. It is based on the patient's home medications recorded in the Documented Meds History tab. Any changes to medication in the Discharge MedRec window will affect home medications only. Changes will not be reflected on inpatient orders. The Discharge Med Reconciliation window is divided into 3 sections: home medications, continued home medications, and medications. The home medications section contains medications that do not have an active inpatient order. Continued medications section contains a list of home medications that have an active inpatient order. Medications section contains new inpatient orders the patient was started on since coming to the hospital. The script icon indicates the patient was on these medications at home. The hospital icon indicates the patient was continued on this medication while in hospital. When completing med reconciliation for discharge, if a patient was continued on a home med in the hospital, the medication populates twice, as an inpatient med and as a home med. Continue the home med and discontinue the same inpatient med. This will make it clearer on the patient-friendly report that will be printed for the patient later. If the patient requires a prescription for a medication, click on the prescription column. This will generate a prescription that will populate to the Orders After Reconciliation section. It will also update the final medication list in the patient care summary, as well as documented medications by history section on the orders page. The blue circle containing an X is an icon indicating there are prescription details that must be completed. Click on this icon. Select an appropriate dispensing quantity for your prescription. Select amount of refills required. Select the printer you want your prescription to be routed to. It is very important to select the printer with your first prescription. If you select your printer with the first prescription, you will not have to select it with the remaining prescriptions. Each inpatient unit has printers mapped for printing of prescriptions. Ensure you have the correct printer selected. An efficient way to complete med reconciliation for discharge is to first examine the home medications. Discontinue any medications you do not wish to continue. Medications the patient was started on in hospital will also need to be addressed. Choose to continue or write a prescription for the medication you wish to keep. Click Continue Remaining Home Meds. Click Do Not Continue Remaining Orders. The medications on the right-hand side of the screen in the Orders After Reconciliation will now become the current best possible medication history, documented in the Documented Medications by History tab. In some instances, you will not be able to complete your total med reconciliation for discharge process. To save the work you have completed, sign the Med Reconciliation for Discharge form. Your work will be saved as a partially completed MedRec for Discharge form indicated by a blue icon next to Discharge in Reconciliation Status area. Medications that require tapering, such as prednisone, require the medication tapering instructions to be written into the additional medication box, as tapering calculation feature does not work in the discharge medication reconciliation screen. To open the order details window, click on the blue circle with the white X. Type the medication instructions in the additional medication information box. The Discharge Readiness dashboard gives an overview of what has been completed for patient discharge. Blue circles indicates tasks are completed, with the exception of diagnosis. It only partially fills with blue. By clicking on the circle, it will completely fill with blue, indicating the task has been completed. The discharge order is completed. The Med Reconciliation for Discharge is completed. Remember, you need to sign the prescriptions you have generated. Clicking on the door icon will allow you to view the discharge documentation that will be given to the patient. This completes the Captivate video training on the physician discharge process. Please complete the following competency and submit the results to your clinical informatics lead. Thanks. Please complete the following quiz. Following successful completion of the quiz, you will be directed to send an email signifying you have obtained the required competency of 80%. Thank you. With each question, select your answer, then click Submit, then click Next.